Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1773BN. Today's date is January 23rd, 2019, and the title of the episode is Insurance Activated, Playing Out as Planned, Blocking, Projecting, Will Fail. Let's get into the economic collapse, political, and geopolitical news. Now, the deep state, they are doing what they do best, and I can't believe that everything that Q has been telling us is now coming true. The insurance policy has been activated. The plan is going exactly as planned. The deep state, they're doing what Q told us they were going to do. And Q has been telling us for a very long time to enjoy the show. And we're going to be getting into that in just a moment, but I wanted to start off with the Covington Catholic School and what has been happening there. Now, right now, all over YouTube and everywhere else, on Twitter, you name it, the Covington event is being ripped apart. The mainstream media is trying to control this narrative. Now, Benny Johnson tweeted out, and he said it absolutely perfectly. Just a reminder that when the media gets something horrifically wrong and look like idiots, they will band together and dig up anything and everything to try to exonerate themselves and prove they were right all along. Now, this is exactly what the deep state, the mainstream media, does. They lie about something, so they'll dig up something or try to prove their lie. And this is exactly what they're doing right now. And there are many individuals that are taking down their tweets. There's lawyers out there saying that they're going to be suing all these individuals for libel. And we're starting to hear a lot of different facts come in from what really happened here, who lied, who was telling the truth. And if you look at many different camera angles that involved the Covington Catholic School boys and Nathan Phillips and the other groups that were outside of this, because they were screaming racial slurs and things like that, you can see how all of this came about. But I wanted to go to Nathan Phillips because Jim Hansen tweeted out the following. And we discussed this yesterday. Nathan Phillips, he's not a Vietnam vet. Served in U.S. MC 72 to 76. He was a refrigerator mechanic, not a recon ranger. And he was AWOL 3 times. So the truth about Nathan Phillips is coming out, that he's a liar. And he made everyone believe that he was a Vietnam vet. Now, very interestingly, Nathan Phillips tried to disrupt a Catholic mass by chanting and beating on a drum. So Nathan and other Native Americans, they tried to enter a Catholic church in Washington, D.C. on Saturday while chanting and banging on their drums. Now, to me, this seems like this is part of an agenda. And it seems that they are playing this up and doing this because of what is going to happen to what's happening with RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Because we saw all the coded messages coming out from Maggie Hamerman, and we saw what was happening here. And we can see that RBG, according to Q, she is next. And what that means is Trump is going to pick the next SCOTUS. Q has already let us know that most likely it might be a woman. And if it's a woman, what type of tactics will they use? Remember, Barrett was nominated the first time. Maybe she'll be nominated the second time. She's religious. She's a woman. Or maybe it'll be another woman. But you can see how this is being played out right now. Their real mission is to get this out there and to make sure that everyone knows about it. Now, it turns out that Nathan Phillips, he was in a music video. And to me, it looks like the same exact guy. And if this is true, then Nathan Phillips is an actor? I mean, we've seen a lot of false flags. We've seen the deep state before, and we know they use actors to push their agenda. Now, comic Kathy Griffin, she was forced to delete her tweet because she was showing the Covington teens at a basketball game holding up like an OK sign where it showed the 3 fingers and she's saying that this was the new Nazi sign. Now, if anybody knows anything about basketball, when you hold this symbol up, it means it's a three-point shot. And you can see other basketball players, they use this. And Kathy Griffin deleted her tweet. So what does this tell us? This tells us that people, they're not even researching, they're not even looking, they're just putting things out there and pushing an agenda. That's it. And you can see how hard they are pushing. But this event is being kept alive. And we know why it's being kept alive. And again, the mainstream media will never admit that they lied. They'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until the very end. Now, what's very interesting is that the House Judiciary Committee, and we know who that's led by, that's Jerry Nadler, he's putting together a team, and this is Oversight Chairman Elijah Cummings, Adam Schiff, and they're going to be working towards the investigation on Trump. Many, many different investigations on Trump. And this is just the beginning. So why are they doing this? Why are they not letting Mueller investigate? Why are they taking on the investigations? Well, we're going to get into that in just a minute. But first, I want to get into Michael Cohen. Now, Michael Cohen, he's going to postpone his February 7th House testimony, citing that the President Trump's tweets about his family is threatening. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. So Rex, and if you go to his site, and I have his link on the X22 Report, did a fantastic article on Michael Cohen and shined some light on why Trump is saying the things he's saying about Michael Cohen. Let me begin here by, don't be distracted by the gossip and tittle-tattle being spread about Michael Cohen. Forget taxi medallions, porn stars. They're meant to distract. The true Department of Justice investigations are likely focused on Cohen's connections to illegal lobbying by Clinton proxies on behalf of Ukraine. Here's an extract of Bloomberg's misleading opening paragraph yesterday about Skadden, Arp, Slate, Meager, and Flom LLP agreement to pay $4.6 million as part of a settlement with the U.S. Justice Department. The settlement was over unregistered work it did with Paul Manafort to benefit the government of Ukraine in 2012 and 2013. So here's the correction. This is what Rex wrote. Unregistered work it did with Paul Manafort, Vin Weber, and Tony Podesta to benefit the government of Ukraine's president, Putin-backed Yanukovych in 2012 and 2013. See how that works? Bloomberg left out critical names. Ditto all the fake news mainstream media outlets. But that typo should have been easy to correct. After all, it was widely reported in August 2018 that Special Counsel Mueller had referred Manafort and Gates, Podesta, the Podesta Group, and Vin Weber to the Department of Justice prosecutors at SDNY in relation to non-FARA illegal lobbying work carried out on behalf of the Putin-backed Ukraine leader Yanukovych. And here's the thing. They likely illegally lobbied for Yanukovych's rival, Poroshenko, after he came into power. Yes, they lobbied for rivals. They're crooks. They don't care. They want to make money. Before we get into Michael Cohen, here's a few interesting facts. Cohen's company, Essential Consultants, allegedly received $500,000 payment from a company connected to Russian oligarch and Putin ally, Viktor Vekselberg, a close ally of Yanukovych and Viktor Pinchuk. Cohen's family has extensive and powerful connections to Ukraine and Russia. He has also spent much of his personal and professional life with immigrants from Russia and Ukraine. His father-in-law, who helped establish him in the taxi business, was born in Ukraine and is very well connected in the corrupt cesspool of Ukraine's politics and business. Now remember, Trump tweeted out something very interesting. Kevin Corke at Fox News. Don't forget, Michael Cohen has already been convicted of perjury and fraud. And as recently as this week, the Wall Street Journal has suggested that he may have stolen tens of thousands of dollars, lying to reduce his jail time. Watch father-in-law. The father-in-law, well, he's Ukrainian. He has connections in Ukraine. So guess what? This is why Trump is tweeting this out. Let me continue. Cohen received a payment of at least $400,000 to fix talks between the Ukrainian president, Poroshenko, and Trump. And this was supposed to happen in Kiev. By the way, this didn't happen. Never came together. Now, of course, Trump's deranged opponents allege that Cohen's background somehow connects him with Trump and Putin to steal the 2016 election. This is ridiculous. There's no evidence to support this whatsoever. And as usual, in their incompetence, they missed the entire story of Cohen. Or did they actually bypass it because they don't want to report on it? Cohen was working with lobbyist Podesta, Manafort, Gates, and even Weber to get a cut of the action from their unregistered lobbying work on behalf of Ukraine. Remember when they went after Manafort? Because he wasn't registered? Remember what Podesta did? Registered very, very quickly. Cohen voted for Obama in 2008, and before that was photographed with Hillary Clinton at what he called the Kennedy compound. And there's a picture of him and Hillary back in June of 2014. So note that date, June 27, 2014. No wonder Clinton was celebrating. That was the date that the new president of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko, signed a long-delayed trade pact with Europe. Moscow opposed it. Worked out in the favor of Clinton, Cohen, and the rest. So that is the same Poroshenko who backed Hillary Clinton in 2016. The Clintons' link to Ukraine is better understood by their relationship with Viktor Pinchuk, not with particular leaders. Ukraine is a land of extreme corruption, political upheaval. Billionaires such as Pinchuk go with the flow. They're greasing the palms of all the politicians, and they're doing, all different dirty work and stuff like that. The Clintons benefited from all of this. Michael Cohen, who had business interests outside the Trump world, is implicated in the corruption. Behind the scenes, it is more likely that the SDNY investigation is focused on Cohen's role in the corrupt Clinton-Pinchuk nexus, as well as his links with the illegal lobbying by Manafort, Podesta, and Weber. Oh, and they're looking at something else too. Cohen's role in the framing of Trump, as well as his covert profiteering via the connection to Trump. It's not just payments from Poroshenko that Cohen is alleged to have secretly pocketed. And what about this? There's also alleged evidence that as early as September 2015, one of Hillary Clinton's closest allies made a bizarre $150,000 donation to the Donald J. Trump Foundation. Who was the ally? Viktor Pinchuk. Who solicited the donation? Michael Cohen. He's a liar, he's a crook, he's a traitor. And he chose the wrong side. And what is happening right now, he is desperate. They have all of this on him, and he's lying to get himself out of this. But guess what? It's not going to work. Remember, there are other investigations going on. Flynn is giving information on these investigations. Flynn knows all about this. He was there. He knows where the bodies are buried. So we need to go back to post 2672. And remember, we talked about Nadler, Cummings, Schiff, all starting these investigations in the House. Well, in this post, Q says the following: D-House focus on POTUS equals insurance extension from Mueller to House. What do we see happening right now? They're taking away the investigations from Mueller and bringing them to the House. This is an insurance extension. Why would they do this? Because they know Mueller is going to give a report that shows absolutely nothing. And they know there's nothing there. And I think at this time, with Mueller backing up the fakeness of that BuzzFeed article, they realized that Mueller, well, he might be working for the other side or to save himself. Now remember, in this post 2672, Q also said, law governing removal of sitting Congress, man or woman, congressman, congresswoman, senator. How do you remove them? Letting us know that in the end, these people will be removed. So we are starting to see all of this come true. Now, attempts to block and protect themselves will completely fail. And this is what they're trying to do by moving all this to the House right now. Remember, they feel that they're in control. They feel they have the power. So let's continue. This is all the information that is coming out and will be used against them. We are watching the preview to the main event. What we are witnessing is the build-up to the declassification. This is why the mainstream media is pushing their agenda so hard right now. They know they need to use as much ammunition as possible to try to stop it. They're moving the investigations to the House to try to block and protect themselves. It will not work. So we've come to find out, and this is coming from Sarah Carter, that former FBI General Counsel James Baker met with Democratic Party's top lawyer Michael Sussman to discuss the ongoing investigation by the Bureau into Trump's campaign alleged ties with Russia. This meeting happened prior to the FBI's initial warrant to spy on short-term campaign volunteer Carter Page. Now, the information that was provided by Baker, who gave extensive testimony to lawmakers behind closed doors, coincides with the House Intelligence Committee's final Russia report that suggests Sussman was also leaking unverified information on the Trump campaign to journalists around the same time he met with Baker. These sources say this is new information from Baker, which exposes the Bureau's failure to inform the secretive Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court that the evidence used to spy on Page was partisan and unverified. It further reveals the extensive role and close connection Sussman, cybersecurity, national security lawyer Perkins Coie, had with non-embattled research firm Fusion GPS. The Democratic National Committee and Hillary Clinton campaign retained Fusion GPS through Perkins Coie during the 2016 election to investigate alleged ties between the Trump campaign and Russia. Fusion GPS then hired former British spy Christopher Steele, who compiled the unverified dossier. And this was during the summer or fall of 2016. In 2016, the Clinton campaign and the DNC paid $9.1 million to the law firm, according to reports. Sussman, however, is also connected to CrowdStrike. CrowdStrike is the private security that was retained by Perkins Coie for the DNC to investigate the breach of its servers after it was discovered that it had been hacked in April 2016. Although the FBI has conducted its own investigation into the breach of the servers, the Democratic National Committee never gave the FBI permission to access the servers themselves. So how did they do the investigation? Kind of difficult. So we can see they had CrowdStrike, they hired the Fusion GPS, all through Perkins Coie, and the payments were made. There was no way the FBI could have not known it was Perkins Coie being paid by the DNC and Clinton campaign. They're in trouble here. And all this information is being leaked out for one purpose and one purpose only: to get the American people ready for the declassification. Remember, Trump, the Patriots, they're letting the mainstream media, the deep state, do what they do best: destroy themselves. Now here's another bombshell. This is coming out of True Pundit. High-ranking FBI insiders are pulling back the curtain of Fusion GPS, the firm that commissioned and spread the Trump dossier. It appears that the intelligence firm was quite busy paying off big media reporters, and this is coming from a federal source, who have traced dozens of transactions between TD Bank and media members as well as media organizations. So, where did all this go to? Which media organizations did it go to? They were being paid off to push this dirt. I mean, this is just unbelievable how this was all coordinated, and it's all being slowly leaked out so the public is aware of what is going on. Now, House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff, he defended himself against Donald Trump Jr., where Donald Trump Jr. accused Adam Schiff of leaking. Now, Adam Schiff is saying, no, it's not a leak, but rather I exposed everything. No, you leaked it. You can change the words around. It makes no difference. But you leaked the information. Trump said he believes there's a 99.9% chance Schiff is the guy who has been leaking private testimony, and it turns out that he's right, that he gave in 2017 when he appeared before the House Intelligence Committee to discuss the now infamous Trump Tower meeting. He goes, I came out of the testimony 8 at night, and CNN is running quotes from noon on about my testimony, in the House Intelligence Committee. How is this possible? Because it was closed door. Who let this out? It was Schiff. He didn't expose it. He leaked private information that was not supposed to be let out to the mainstream media. Now, we've been seeing a lot of this, and we know that the mainstream media, the deep state, they all work together. Now, the White House, they have announced the renomination of 51 federal judicial nominees left over from the previous Congress, kickstarting the administration's effort to install more conservative judges after GOP activists worried that such appointments had stalled. 9 of the 51 appointments are for spots on the prestigious and influential federal appellate benches, including 2 on the mostly liberal San Francisco-based Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, which President Trump has often decided as disgraceful and politically biased, which he's absolutely right. Now, it looks like there are 2 bills that are heading into the Senate or being created to end this shutdown, but it looks like these are not going to work because it does include the money, but it's not for the wall. It's only for security on the border. Well, the wall, border security, they're one and the same. Now, something very interesting, and this tells you a lot about who really cares about the people not getting paid. Representative Dan Crenshaw tweeted the following. Big deal that never got reported. Last week, House GOP voted to pay federal employees their first paycheck of 2019. Despite shutdown, only 6 Dems voted with us. It failed. Dem priority is not paying workers or opening government. It is opposing Trump. Now, when you look at this and you look at who voted and who didn't vote, you can see Democrats, 6 yes, 222 no. Republicans, 189 yes. What does that tell you? This is not about all the stuff they're talking about. It's about getting back at Trump. Now, Trump has created a new slogan for the wall, and he tweeted it out today. Build a wall and crime will fall. This is the new theme for 2 years until the wall is finished. It's under construction now. Of the Republican Party, use it and pray. Now, we can see there's still a battle going on with Nancy Pelosi and Trump. Trump wants to give the State of the Union. He wrote a letter to Nancy Pelosi, and the letter is as follows. Thank you for your letter on January 3rd, 2019. Sent to me long after shutdown began, inviting me to address the nation on January 29th as to the State of the Union. As you know, I had already accepted your kind invitation. However, I then received another letter from you dated January 16, 2019, wherein you expressed concerns regarding security during the State of the Union address due to the shutdown. Even prior to asking, I was contacted by the Department of Homeland Security and the United States Secret Service to explain that there would be absolutely no problem regarding security with respect to the event. They have since confirmed this publicly. Accordingly, there are no security concerns regarding the State of the Union. Therefore, I will be honoring your invitation and fulfilling my constitutional duty to deliver important information to the people in Congress of the United States of America regarding the State of the Union. I look forward to seeing you on the evening of January 29th in the chamber of the House of Representatives. But it looks like Nancy Pelosi is not going to let him in. She built a wall, shut the doors, a wall around the Capitol building, keeping Trump out. So I guess walls do work. They will keep people out. And it looks like Trump is going to have to pick maybe an alternate area to have the State of the Union. Now, everyone does not agree with Nancy Pelosi. There are many Dems, Republicans saying, listen, he should go ahead and give the State of the Union. He has to follow the Constitution. I know he only has to write it, but every president has given the State of the Union, and he should be allowed to do this. Now, he doesn't have to do this from the Capitol building. He can do this anywhere he wants, but he wants to follow the same procedures that have been followed for a very long time. And also, he's showing that it's Nancy Pelosi that's not allowing this. This is just going to hurt them more than Trump. I know they think it's the opposite, but that's not true. Now, it looks like Erdogan is meeting with Putin to talk about Syria and the Kurds and the safe zone. And remember, Putin controls Erdogan. And I don't think Putin wants more war in Syria. He actually wants peace. He wants to have an economic relationship with Syria. Now, we know that Israel, they've been bombing Damascus. Now, part of this, I do believe, is a mop-up operation. The other part, I think they're trying to, and this is coming through the deep state, I think they're trying to provoke Syria. And I see the headlines out there, well, we'll fire missiles into the Tel Aviv airport. Well, Syria says a lot of things. It doesn't mean they're going to do it. One of the reasons they're not going to do it is because this would start an all-out war. And I know that Israel, the deep state, many of these individuals would like this because this is what they've been pushing for a very long time. I don't think Putin, because Putin has diffused almost every single situation that he possibly could, where war could have been easily accomplished, but he's put that fire out every single time. And if you don't believe me, go back to my other reports. I don't think Putin and Assad want more war, because that's all this would do. Because if they fired missiles into Israel, Israel would retaliate. And then other coalition partners would join them. And this would be a complete mess. So right now, the spokesman for the Russian Foreign Ministry, Maria Zakharova, she said that Israel must halt their arbitrary strikes in Syria as it violates international law. The practice of arbitrary strikes on the territory of a sovereign state, in this case, we're talking about Syria, should be ruled out. She's absolutely right. This is completely against international law, but you can see their agenda. First, get rid of any evidence because they know what they had planned is completely done with right now, and the U.S. troops are coming out of there. Second, well, maybe we can start something. Maybe we can push a war, and this is what they're trying to do. And you can see by the deep state, they're always trying to reach their goal, reach their agenda, and they won't stop. But as you can see, who is in control? Did they get a war with North Korea? No, we got peace. The troops are being withdrawn from Syria. There's going to be peace there. There's going to be peace in the Middle East. All their plans are coming to an end. So what do? They try to ramp it up to the very end. And each time they try to say something or do something, they're proven wrong time and time again. They activated their insurance policy. They're trying to protect themselves. They're trying to block everything. It's not going to work. The plan is right on schedule. Let these individuals believe they have the upper hand. Let them use all the ammunition they have. Because guess what happens? All this propaganda, all these lies, all of this is just a big waste of time. Because when the truth finally comes out and there's a declassification and people start to realize what really happened through documentation, yes, they can try to talk their way out of this. Yes, the mainstream media will try propaganda piece after propaganda piece, but each propaganda piece will be shut down by facts. Facts will shut down all propaganda. And when I mean by facts, that's the truth. And guess what happens? People start to look at the mainstream media and say, wait a minute, why are you continually lying to us? Because here are the facts. Here are the recordings. Here are the videos. Oh, and you also try to use this whole video thing that these aren't real, but these are the real unedited videos. And they're certified. You've lied to us. And guess what? Trump has mentioned this before, that the mainstream media is going to have a problem moving forward. Trump, the Patriots, they want them to use everything they've got, because once the truth comes out, everything that they've done is going to be a lie. Once people understand it's a lie, they won't be able to protect themselves anymore. Once the Mueller report comes out and it shows that Mueller went off in all these different directions like he was instructed, couldn't find anything, what are they going to fall back on? Their other investigations? They're all going to be exposed. Time is ticking down. The deep state plan is headed towards failure. Patriots are in control. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.